we're back. I gave Rylie no warning. We're back.
Hi. Thank you. Ellie's joined us. My decrepit-looking dog.
My mom was
Who's not.
Go ahead.
She's not even that old. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, she looks like she's 80 years old, but she's literally what? She's like
She's 7.
7 now.
She's 7. Yeah.
My mom was trying to tell me, she was like, you could stream with Camila in the room. I'm like, are you out of your mind? I tried to do homework the other day and she was screaming. I was like, girl, it's not that serious. But
we're getting to terrible twos, huh?
Yeah, we're really getting there.
It's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun for you, actually.
Yeah, I'm at terrible twos. You're at teething. Life is good. Anyway.
Yeah, it's great.
Welcome back, all the good girls. We still need to come up with like a hi and bye.
Didn't you tell me what to say? And I was like, no. I don't remember what you said to say.
No idea. I said at the end.
You were like, stay horny, everybody. Or
at
something.
the end? No, at the end, I'm definitely going to say, stay smutty, everyone.
Oh, Jesus.
But I don't know what we should say.
You just put that right in front of your face, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good place to put it that doesn't have me constantly.
This is why nobody watches us.
Can you hear me when I'm all the way back here?
I don't know. Say something.
Hi.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, so we can just do that. Anyway, this is your stream. I'll let you take the lead.
This is what we're talking about. Throne of Glass. It's another Sarah J. Maas book. You can see my tabs on the side. It's very popular on Book Talk. If anyone's watching who has read this book, please let me know, because it's a lot. So, as with all of Sarah J. Maas's books, there are certain tropes that present themselves many times, which is fine. Mm-hmm. There is like a found family trope, which I love. There's the skinny, young, she's barely legal 18-year-old girl just saving the world, which is fine. You know what? That's whatever. That's life. Mm-hmm. This book, it's life in these books. So this book is about, okay, there's literally a pronunciation guide in the back.
So. I hate shit like that. I really.
There's all these pronunciations in the back. Look at all those. Mm-mm. Okay. So the main character's name is, it's Selena, right?
So it's not Selena.
It's spelled, no, it's Selena, but it's spelled Celaena. So that's fine.
Spelled like Selena, but with this, but it's said.
Okay, so exactly. So here's our main characters. Here's our main players. We got Selena. She is an 18-year-old assassin. She has been an assassin since she was a child. And at the beginning of the book, we find her in a prison camp, and she's a slave. Okay? And this is her.
Wrong start.
Okay? That's how we find her in the beginning of the book. Yeah.
18.
I was also shocked. Yeah. She's been an assassin since she was a child, so get it right.
She's an 18-year-old weathered assassin.
Her parents died in a mysterious accident that isn't truly that addressed, because there's like 8 books in this series. So I already bought the next 2, because I'm going to just say right now I liked this book a lot, because I'm a sucker for a fantasy love triangle. Okay. Love triangle. Your favorite.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you right now, the spice rating is a 0. So keep that in mind.
What a tragedy.
So there's Selena. She's our main girl. Then we have, it's spelled Chaol. It's pronounced Kale. Kale, not kale. Kale. The entire time I was saying Cole, so that's probably what I'm going to call him. Just sorry in advance.
Cole.
And then there's Dorian, who. Okay, so sorry. Kale is the
you can call
top prison guard. Thank you. Cole is the top prison guard of the
felt good, didn't it?
Kingdom. So. Yes. He's like the king's, I don't fucking know what he is. Anyway, he's the king's right-hand man, basically. The king is evil, of course. And then Dorian is the prince. So those are the main players. There's a couple other people, but those are like the main three. So I'm just gonna like go through the plot, and if you have questions, just please chime right in.
Okay.
Okay, so you're the Ben Kissel in this situation.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I can just sit here and just
Yeah.
learn along with the audience.
Okay, so she. Okay, so she's in a prison
Mm-hmm.
camp, the prison camp,
For what?
and
Being an assassin? For assassinating?
being correct,
Okay.
assassinating many people,
Okay.
who deserved it. Just to be clear, they were all bad
Oh, so
people.
she's a good assassin. She's the people's assassin.
Literally, they call her that a few times. Not like the people's, but they use like the name of the Arendelles or whatever it's
She's
called. They use the
Arendale's
name
assassin.
of the town. Yeah, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. I just don't care enough to say it right. And then, so Cole goes to get her from the prison camp and brings her to meet with Dorian, the prince, in this like weird chamber. And Dorian's being a total dick face. And he's like, you have two options. I think he's 19 and Cole's 21.
Okay.
Um, and Selena is 18. And so nothing like super inappropriate with their ages there. But
That's a first in a fantasy novel.
I know. I know, literally in her other one, fucking Rysan's like 200 years old and Feyre is like 17 or something.
Like literally. But that's every fantasy. I
Yeah.
have yet to read a fantasy
Yeah.
like they're aged
Yeah.
appropriately.
Yeah. There's no magic in this kingdom, to be clear.
Oh, okay.
They say that very early on. There's no magic in the kingdom. Like, the king forbade it or whatever. There's magic in the kingdom. Okay, it's just
Oh,
illegal.
okay. Because I was like, what makes it so fantastical?
Okay, I'm getting off track. Okay. So Dorian is being a dickhead and he's like, so you have two options. You can either come with me and do this thing that my dad, the king, wants because he wants his own personal assassin. So he's looking for his own personal assassin to do his bidding. And instead of just picking somebody like a normal guy, he's going to do this competition where all the best villains, murderers, etc. in the kingdom are going to come and compete and decide who the king's assassin is going to be. So that's the premise of the book,
Okay.
is this competition. And then he's like, you can either come with me and be my champion, or you can stay here and rot and die. But if you come with me and are my champion, you'll be free after 4 years of service, basically, to the king, if you win the competition. And she's like, I mean, obviously I'm taking that. Like, obviously.
Right.
That's better than being a
Ever.
fucking war prisoner slave. They call her a slave many times. It made me sort of uncomfortable. Anyway. Then so she goes to the kingdom, whatever. She's there and she meets all the other, they're all men. She's the only woman who is participating in this event. I don't know what to call it.
Gauntlet.
Whatever. Gauntlet. Yeah, sure. She's the only woman. She's also the youngest one, I believe. Mm-hmm. And nobody knows who she is. So she's like a famous assassin. But nobody knows that she's an 18-year-old girl. Okay. So they're hiding her identity, and they're saying she's somebody else. I don't remember the name that they give her, but it doesn't really matter. So they're saying she's somebody else. Nobody knows her identity except for the king, Dorian, and Cole are the only ones who know her identity.
Okay.
At the beginning of the book. It's a huge secret. And then we meet all the other people like trying to get the king's assassin job, all the other men. The main players are Cain, and obviously, of course, he's evil. His name's fucking Cain. And then we have two others who, quite honestly, don't remember their names, and I don't care enough to look, but they're just like younger guys who try and help Selena.
It's basically a great way to immediately establish your character as evil. Just name them Cain.
Yeah. I mean, it was effective. He was evil.
Mm-hmm. From the get-go.
So
his name, we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so they're competing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She's doing good. Cole tells her, like, stay in the middle. You don't want them really looking at you. You don't want them to figure out who you are. So your, cover is like you're a jewel thief and your dad kicked you out because you are a jewel thief. And she's like, okay, great, fine. I'm a jewel thief instead of like a notorious assassin. So then we meet. I need to look up how to pronounce this bitch's name. Hold on.
See,
Pause.
this is right here is why I don't read fantasies. I mean, why do I have to have a glossary?
Uh,
Oh,
I thought her name was Caitlin the entire book. Okay, it's Caltain. Kaltain. Would you not just dyslexic say that's Caitlin? Because I think that I'm a little dyslexic,
I would
and
just
I'm like, that's Caitlin.
no. It's a natural
Anyway,
response of the human brain to move
fucking
things around in the way that you expect to see them.
her name's fucking Caltain, of
No,
course. She's
Caitlin.
bad. Okay, so Caitlin, if that's better for you, she's bad. She's like hot. She's a hot young thing. She wants Dorian. She wants the crown. You know the story. You know how it goes. So she's pissed because Selena and Dorian are getting a little too close for comfort.
They're vibing.
Yeah, they're vibing first, big time. And Dorian's like not supposed to be vibing with her. Obviously, she's a fucking assassin and he's the prince.
Right.
But that makes it even hotter.
It's forbidden.
So Caitlin is basically this book's told from third point of view. So you see from like everybody's third person. What did I say?
Third point of view.
Anyway, you know what I mean. Basically, all these people, like, you get to see kind of into their head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she also like smokes opium, so she kind of gets like weird and high sometimes.
Who the main?
And like, no, Caitlin Caltain.
Oh, that's a
The bad girl.
weird. Did that serve any purpose in the plot? Or was that just to make her seem bad?
Yeah, it does. It does. I'll get to that later. It does. But yeah, she
Okay.
smokes, I believe it's opium. And she keeps getting these horrible headaches. And she's like, I don't know what that's from. So she's smoking the opium to get rid of the headaches. The headaches have a reason. We'll get to it.
Right, just like
Anyway,
I have glaucoma, which is why I smoke weed. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's running through this book trying to get Selena to get the fuck out of there so that she can marry Dorian, which is not going to happen because this other older guy who's like oh my God, people who, I'm glad there's only a few people watching this because if people who are actually a fan of this are going to be like, are you fucking stupid? Anyway, I think it's the Duke. Sarah J. Maas fans are crazy.
No, they're obsessed. Like,
They're
how dare you get
crazy.
on Sarah J. Maas's internet and not know how to say these characters' names? This is
Yeah.
they're like a 4chan people. Like, it's scary. It's like BTS fans.
Yes.
They're like scary.
Literally crazy. So the other guy he's the Duke. I'm just gonna call him the Duke 'cause I don't remember his stupid name. He is old and gross. And Caitlin is trying to Caitlin is trying to like trick him so that he thinks that she wants to bone him so that she can get closer to the prince, basically. So it's yep.
That doesn't sound like a very strong plan.
It's not, and it doesn't go very well for her. So I'll just say that right now.
I can imagine. That sounds like
Yeah.
what? So she's trying to have sex with somebody else that's not the prince.
Yeah.
In order to get, I'm sorry, she's trying to pretend, like she's pretending to have sex with somebody
She's pretending. She doesn't actually have sex with him.
so that she can get closer.
She's like leading him on so she can get closer to the prince.
Oh, okay.
Like so she can get like invited to stuff and like get a little bit closer and wiggle her way in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what her end game is.
Got it.
Is to marry Dorian. And be
Dorian has no idea that Dorian's just not into.
Oh, he knows. He just hates her.
Okay.
He says it many times. He's like, I can't fucking stand her. He makes it very apparent, like from the beginning, that he wants to bone Selena.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He keeps sneaking into her room. He does all this stuff. So okay.
Wait, what? I'm
laugh.
sorry. You very casually passed that by. You very casually were like, he like sneaks into her room. He sniffs her hair when she's not looking. He steals her
I
under.
mean, basically. Ugh. Oh my god, stop.
Okay. Okay.
Kate.
Sounds like one of my dark
Anyway,
romances. Okay.
where they don't actually fuck, so
So
it's pretty annoying.
it sounds like it's worse than my dark romance.
Yeah. You literally made me choke on my spit.
I'm sorry. You you were very casual about that. You were like da 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 sneaks into the room da da da.
What is this?
Him
Why is this
sneaking.
what you did?
Him sneaking.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Him sneaking it.
Okay. Oh my Jesus. Okay, so the next big plot point that happens, because there are like a million big plot points that happen, is that one of the champions or the competitors, whatever, is found dead, but like in a disgusting way. They say his skin is like peeled from his face, and all of his organs are missing. I'm gonna spare you the other gruesome details because it was really graphic. I was like, this is like a YA book. She can describe this shit, but she can't give me a little sex. Whatever.
No,
Um,
it's a very valid point. That's
it was like
awful.
super graphic.
Oh,
And
ugh.
so now we think one of the killers is obviously killing all the other killers, you know?
Well,
Like
that was
that's
my first thought.
duh.
When you mentioned the gauntlet, I was like, so what stops the assassins from just assassinating each other so that they can be the king's assassin? That's what if I was an assassin,
Yeah.
that's what I would do. I would just kill all the other.
There's guards. Like there's guards, but apparently not very good ones because this is what's
Assassin,
happening.
the whole reason you want to hire me is so I can get past your guards. I'll just drop them
Yeah.
too. I'm an assassin.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Absolutely. So a few of the champions start getting murdered in these really weird, super grisly ways, and they're like, no human could be possibly doing this, but there's no magic in the kingdom, so it has to be a human being doing it because nobody could be possibly doing this. There's a couple suspects, obviously. Caitlin, your girl Caitlin, is obviously a suspect because she's just evil in general.
She's a bitch.
Um, yeah, the Duke's a suspect because he's gross and old and crusty. The guy that Caitlin's trying to
Caitlin's
sleep with.
trying to fuck.
Yeah, I don't think he's even a Duke. I don't. I don't remember what he is. I
He's
just remember
royal
knowing him.
adjacent.
I need like a whiteboard. Remember when we used to watch Are You the One?
Yeah.
And I would make these like crazy whiteboards, like connecting. I'm like, these two are a pair. These two are a pair. I was like serial killer board level of like, that's what I need for this to keep track of this story.
You know what? I might get more into fantasies if that was something that I could do. Because that's the hardest part that I have such a hard time tracking what the fuck's happening half the time.
Yeah. It was written easily. Like it's not hard to keep track
Just
of,
I
but
think.
when you go back and try to explain it, it's a lot.
Is it
Because
high
I was
fantasy or is it because
no
that's a term that's being thrown around a lot lately? High fantasy versus low.
high fantasy. I don't think I've technically read a high fantasy.
Me, Harry Potter is high fantasy, so even,
Oh,
even when
okay.
I'm watching
No.
the movies, I'm lost as fuck. Like even watching, like
That's the same with Michael. He's like, "What's happening?"
Dude, Amber made me rewatch all the movies recently. I told you, and I literally was sitting there like, "What's going on?" The whole time.
Yeah.
She was like, "Are you not even paying attention?" And to her credit, there is a point where I shut down. I'm like, "Oh, magic, off."
Yeah.
There's a
That's fair.
magic. There's an off button that's pointed magic, and an on button. There's magic. It's just off. I can't.
Oh, okay. Like a little switch.
Yep, can't do it.
So there is magic, obviously, because all these people are getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, honestly, they don't really get into a lot of the like challenges because there's like, oh, there's 25 of you, so there's gonna be like 20 challenges, and at the end, we're gonna make whoever's left basically duel each other to win. Is the
Right.
whole thing.
It's
The
like
only challenges they right. The only challenges they really get into are like one or two. There's only two that are actually important. One is where they're like scaling the side of the castle to get to a flag at the top. And the bad guy, Kane, shoves. Oh, I need to find this fucking kid's name. This is why the glossary is helpful.
I just want to point out that every time we do a fantasy stream, I'm gonna just compare it all to Hunger Games. It's
Hunger Games isn't even fantasy; it's dystopian.
it's very hungry. This sounds very Hunger Games Aryan. It sounds very close.
I guess so.
Game
Jesus.
adjacent.
What is this guy's name? Oh my god, I really don't know what his name is. Let's just call him Nice Boy. So the Nice Boy,
Okay, nice boy gets shoved.
he gets shoved off the wall by Kane, big
Nice boy
bad,
is still in a sack.
and oh yeah, he's
Nice
a mercenary.
boy, got it. Okay, carry on.
He's a mercenary. Anyway, so he gets shoved off the wall, and Selena sees him, and she's like, "Fuck! I can't let him fucking die. They're all gonna let him die. He's gonna fall 100 feet on the ground and die because that guy had already fallen, and nobody stopped him, and he died." So she's like, "Shit!" So she like does this weird Kim Possible thing where she like has a rope and she like swings around a gargoyle's head.
Is it Knox? Scarlet Vogue has.
What?
Is it Knox? Is that the guy's name? The kid's name? We love
Is that his name?
We love you, Scarlet Vogue.
You're probably right. I didn't know you were here. You've been so quiet this whole time.
We appreciate.
You're probably correct. I think you're correct. Yeah, Knox. Let's say that. So she saves him. She does this like weird Kim Possible thing. She's like the rope and a gargoyle head. I couldn't really like a stone gargoyle head. I couldn't quite picture it in my head, but anyway, she saves him. He's fine, and that is like a pivotal moment because everyone's like, oh, so she's actually capable of doing stuff and she's kind of working together with him and she's not like a ruthless person. No problem. Welcome.
We've had technical issues repeatedly tonight, so that's okay.
It's no big deal.
So they think she's working with Knox. Is she working with Knox?
They're not like working together, but they are helping each other out.
They're both
like they train together. Yeah, as nice as you can be as a mercenary / assassin.
Can be perfect.
Yeah. So they help each other. And then that comes into play later during a different challenge when he's really good at poisons and knowing what poison is what, and he poisons people all the time.
I'm going to point to Hunger Games again. He sounds very much Vito. Carry on.
I can't even get into how many ways you're wrong about that because we'll be talking about the Hunger Games. Anyways, so shake it off. So he
just slowly getting mad.
So they have all these cups in front of them. It's like in The Princess Bride or whatever when it's like, oh, you drank the poison cup. You know what I mean? You seen that movie? You never seen The Princess Bride?
Sorry.
I thought that was just an obvious reference and everyone's seen The Princess Bride.
Nope, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, good. I don't know how to feel about that. It's like a double whammy for me.
We can have a stream. We'll have a watch party stream where I just watch The Princess Bride because you're not the first person to have that reaction to me. The last.
It's a good movie, but we'll move on. So there's cups of poison. She has to arrange it in like least poisonous to most poisonous. You get it. And she can't tell the last two poisons apart. And she looks over at Knox and he's like very pointedly moving one to the end and one to the beginning. And she looks at it and he's like, fucking do what I just did. And so she did that because they had to drink their poisons. And if they like the one that they deemed the least poison, the one with the least amount of poison, they drink it. And obviously a lot of people are falling dead because they drank their own poison.
Just dropping.
And her and Knox are the only ones who
Scarlet
Vogue also hasn't seen.
I appreciate you. You're the only one.
Okay.
What's up? We're the majority.
In the whole world? Oh, yeah. Okay. In this stream, sure.
It must be a very niche movie, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't think anyone's ever seen it, actually.
It's good.
Anyways, so she's fine, he's fine, and then so they kind of have their like little friendship. It doesn't come to that much. All that comes to it is in the end, right before the last couple challenges, she goes, "You need to leave before the next challenge because you're next." Like I'm going to tell you in a second, but the thing that's murdering people is gonna like come and get you. And he's like, are you sure you're not just saying this so you win? She's like, no, like you need to get out. So he runs, he breaks out, and he's gone. So she basically saves him twice, and he saves her once.
Wait,
So
wait. How does she know? Is it her?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Dorian secretly evil?
No, I wish. So I haven't even gotten into the love triangle because there's so many things happening. But basically, obviously, Cole and Dorian both love her, clearly. I don't know which one the author wants us to like better.
But that's a Sarah J. Maas thing, right? Like she like
Yeah.
one. Meanwhile, this is actually the one that she should be with.
And there's a section at the end that had a very similar Akatar vibes, and I can't wait to get your reaction on that. But because you have read Akatar, Dorian gave me talent energy. Okay, yes, I'm going to talk about that in 1 minute. The final test. Don't spoil it. I have this like the final test thing. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm getting excited. There's like 3 of us here. I'm like so nervous. Okay. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the thing that's killing all the contestants basically is this. Okay. So, okay. Let me back up. Selena is in her room and she notices there's like wind blowing. And she's like, where the fuck is that coming from? I'm in a closed room. Like, why is that happening? She goes like behind a tapestry and realizes it's like a secret passageway. Of course, it's a castle, a secret passageway.
Right.
So she goes down the secret passageway. There's like a whole bunch of different like forks in the road, and she realizes she can actually escape if she goes all the way down to the bottom. There's like a boat and like a canal, and she can literally like leave. But she's like, I'm not gonna leave yet. She's like, I'm not gonna leave yet. I don't have any provisions with me. I don't have anything with me, and there's guards. They'll probably, catch me, so I'm not going to leave yet. I'm going to wait and hold on to that until I can leave.
Okay.
She doesn't tell anybody about the passageway the whole book. So at the end of the book, still nobody knows she has this in her room. Because spoiler alert, she obviously wins and becomes King's champion and stays in the castle.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that comes back in another book.
Mm-hmm.
But in this passageway, she sees. This is where it's going to start getting a little confusing if you weren't already confused.
Oh, I'm very confused, but okay.
In this passageway, she sees a
ghost?
Like a tomb. A tomb.
Okay.
Yeah, but she sees a tomb, and then later she has a dream of a ghost, which is, I think her name is Elena. Correct me if I'm wrong. Scarlet Vogue, please.
No, it's probably Alana or something crazy. Carry on.
I know. The ghost of the old princess from like hundreds of years ago.
Christmas past or something stupid.
Nope. The old princess, I think. And she was fae. Okay. She was magical. So she's kind of, I almost said she's kind of helping Feyre out. It's not Feyre. She's kind of helping Selena out.
Okay.
From the other side, as you would. And she's like, hey, you need to fucking pay attention because there's something bad in this castle. And it's not just one of the other contestants killing the other contestant. It's bad. And it's big bad and you need to fix it because you're the only one who can fix it.
Old Queen.
Queen. Thank you. Old Queen. And so Selena's like, great, fantastic. Just another thing I need on my plate. At this point in the book, I was like, the first queen, Elena. See, I was right. Did I say Elena?
You did say Elena. I said Alana.
Oh, good for me.
But
that's probably what she meant.
We won't use that one.
Sarah J. Maas meant. So then, basically she's being haunted, and then okay, so this is kind of out of order, but it's fine. She looks under her bed and realizes there's like, oh fuck, I forgot this other character. There's so many characters. Okay. I forgot this other bitch that's important too. Okay, hold on.
Her character came in so conveniently. Okay. That's how I feel about most fantasies, though. In most fantasies, things can very conveniently happen. Like, because you like live in that fantastical world of magic and ghosts, and someone can just come in and be like, hey, don't get killed. You know what I mean? But.
No, she's literally like, you need to save the kingdom. And Selena's like, oh, fantastic. Great.
She's like, I was just trying not to rob prison, but cool. Add it to my to-do list.
Okay, so the only black character in this book is named Nahimiya, I believe. Nahimiya. That's not my point. I mean, there's that, but that's not my point. She and it's from a different kingdom, so she's there to like learn their ways or whatever. At some point in the book, the king of this kingdom like murders 500 of her people or something, and she's like, fuck you guys. She's pissed. That's kind of subplot. I think that's going to be in the second book more. But Nahimiya and Selena are friends.
Mm-hmm.
And Nahimiya, so Selena starts seeing all these weird runes everywhere on the floor. And she's like, what are these? And no one will tell her. They're like, you can't, they're called word marks, but they're spelled WYRD marks. Word marks.
Naturally.
And so Selena does a lot of time in the library. We get a lot of library montages of her trying to figure out what these are. No one will tell her. She can't figure it out. But she notices the first time she sees one of the champions' bodies, because remember, they're cropping up dead. She sees one of the champions' bodies, and there's these runes, these word marks all over the area. And so she's like, oh, shit. But she asks Nahimiya about it because they see one together, and she's like, don't ask about this. Don't ask about it. Don't think about it. Yeah, it's kind of like a magical black person situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that trope, like the most magical person of color in the room.
She's the magical.
Is definitely.
She's the what is it? The magical godmother. Got it.
Yeah, basically. But she doesn't. She's like, don't ask any questions. And then, obviously, she's gonna ask questions. So when she comes out of the chamber, or like one of the nights, she's in her room, Selena, and she moves her bed, and there's these runes all under her bed, and she's like, what the fuck? So she's like, I'm someone in the room.
In for some reason. Oh, okay.
She's just listening to me talk all this nonsense about this freaking book.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So then there's all these like word mark things under her bed. She's like, oh my God, the thing's gonna come and kill me next, whatever it is. So she like scrubs them off under the bed, and she does that multiple times. And later in the book, we find out that it's actually Nahimiya had put them there to protect her, and she was just scrubbing them off the floor.
Okay.
So that was, I'm not sure why that was a necessary point in the book, but it was. So I'm just going to tell you now. Are you ready for what the thing is? The thing has a name. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to call it like a big demon dog, like a big hellhound dog thing. Mm-hmm. And obviously someone's like controlling it. There's like a spell that has to be cast to get it to do its bidding. So it's predictable. But do you want to guess who the person controlling it is based on what I've told you?
Caitlin.
No.
Nahimiya.
No.
Who is it? Dorian?
No, Kane.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, clearly, out of everything that you fucking told me about this fucking book.
I know, I haven't mentioned him that much.
And none of the other evil people. Or the ghost.
Yeah. It's not the ghost. The ghost is good. Please.
Thanks.
Be respectful.
Right. I'll respect the elderly. I apologize.
And then so then the demon dog thing sees Selena. I literally almost keep calling her Feyre because they're the same character. She sees Selena and she's like, why am I calling the demon dog she? The demon dog sees Selena and is trying to kill her because Kane sets her on him. It's a demon dog.
This is why I don't read fantasy. I'm going to point this out right now. I can't do this. I can't keep up with anything that you're saying.
Okay, the demon dog's after Selena, okay? And so she's running through the thing. She gets her shit wrecked. She gets beat to shit, but she escapes. I believe she kills it. Maybe not then, but later. She definitely kills it at some point. So it's dead at this point, okay? But I think she kills it then. But she does get her shit wrecked. And Kane is like super powerful now because he's like basically dabbling in the dark arts or whatever. So he has all these like evil ghosts helping him like be really strong. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get to the final challenge now. This is when Scarlet Folk's talking about giving Tamlin energy in the final test. So I haven't told you much about Cole and Dorian because basically her and Cole have this like weird sexual energy, but they haven't done anything about it.
Okay.
Like nothing.
So not
even a kiss. No, they hug once at the very end.
Remember what I said about penetration pain or I'm out? I can't. I need.
Is your brother? Is your brother in the room right now?
Yes. By his own choice. I don't know why.
Can I bring something dumb real quick?
Your little brother is in the room right now?
This is by his choice. He knows the kind of books that I read.
Can I bring something up real quick? Really
what dumb. Are you bringing up?
This is reminding me, I want to get in the frame because I'm wearing a cutoff and I want to look like a douche. So,
he does look like a douche. Carry on.
You guys are talking about, okay, you said there has to be penetration within the first chapter or whatever, and she said that they only hug at the ending. You know how I love Avatar? You know how have you ever watched Legends of Korra?
No.
Okay, for anyone in the audience who has watched Legends of Korra, actually, spoiler alert, at the ending, Korra, the main character, after not giving any signs of being gay the whole show, the very last episode, comes out to be gay and gets with technically walks off into sunset with one of her best friends, and her saying that they hugged at the ending reminded me of that, and I thought it was funny. So, anyone who watches that,
there you go.
That's what popped up in my head.
That's what.
Thank you.
Yeah, great, perfect. I should start reading.
I appreciate you understanding what a cut-off shirt makes you look.
You just should start reading books.
I don't like wearing cutoffs in public because I feel like they make me look douchey, but I wear them in the house.
Oh,
that's fair because you are also white and blonde, so I could see that happening.
I have brown hair.
It's a slippery.
Oh, brown hair. Sorry.
He has dirty brown hair.
Okay.
It's brown.
I haven't seen you in a while, so we'll just chalk it up to that.
Dirty blonde. He has dirty blonde hair. Okay. Can you go
anyway
with Camila? Carry on.
Bye.
Adios.
Just love when he gives us his little tidbits.
Anyway, carry on.
So there's no sex in this book. Dorian comes in a couple times, makes out with her, and I was like, we're getting somewhere. Nothing happens. Stupid. Okay, so at the end of the book, the final challenge is there's 4 of them left, and they'll have to duel each other, basically, to see who wins. So Selena beats the first guy she battles, no problem, no sweat. She gets this staff from Nahimiya that is like her weapon of choice, and that's what she's using. So she goes up against Cain, and she starts losing because they drugged her. So Cain and Caitlin, remember, she came back, drugged her, and now she's like basically roofied. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. She has this deep poison in her. She's getting the shit beat out of her. Like, literally, Sarah J. Maas describes this in such vivid detail, like the sounds of her bones breaking, like getting her basically curb stomped, beat to shit, and no one's doing anything. So it switches back and forth to perspective. So Dorian's sitting there and he's like, fuck, I should be doing something. Why am I not doing anything? I'm just sitting here. Why am I not doing anything? And then Cole comes up to like the side of the ring, like where they're fighting in the big ring, you know? And he comes up to the side and he's like, you have to get up. You have to get up. And she's like, I can't, I'm fucking dying. Like there's something wrong with me. He's like, you have to get up. You have to get up. You have to get up. And that was the only thing she could hear. And he was the only one like actively trying to help her. And he's like, get up. Because if any of them actually like interfere physically, the king would basically kill them. Even though Dorian's the king's son, so he wouldn't have killed him.
Right.
Nothing would have happened. He's the prince.
He's just...
But Dorian sits there, and that's what she says is giving Tamlin energy, because he literally is just like, oh shit, my girlfriend's getting her ass beat. And this is basically his girlfriend at this point, because they've been hanging out, seeing each other. Yes. Team Kale.
Cole.
Team Kale.
Sorry.
No, people get mad about it. I don't care.
Here's the thing. This is her thing, right? Like
Sarah J. Maas, yeah.
Yeah, she appreciates like a love triangle where one seems like the better option, but truly she likes the morally gray guy, which I can appreciate that.
it's not even that in the first book he's necessarily morally gray. It's just like he doesn't like, yeah, Dorian's described as super hot. And Kale's described as like a little bit shorter, still taller than her, but a little bit shorter, like cropped hair, but beautiful brown eyes. Like he's still attractive, but he's obviously like been through some shit because he's also a killer. Or he's not a killer. Sorry, that's important. He's a guard. Sorry.
Okay.
He's never actually killed anybody yet. So then basically the ghost of Elena is back and she helps Selena. See, this is why I have problems with this. Oh, am I interrupting?
No, sorry. I had to respond to somebody. I had to respond to Dad because he has Camila. Carry on.
Oh, okay. So the ghost of Elena is there to help Selena, and she basically beats the shit out of Cain. There's a huge ghost battle, but basically that's what happens. Selena gets this mark on her forehead, but then it disappears later. But the king saw it, so he knows something magical is happening, and he's the one who like outlawed magic to begin with. That I'm assuming is going to come back in the next book because it's not really in this one at all. But so basically, Selena wins. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird because the dead queen like rid all of her body of the poison. She stands up. Mind you, she's still beat to shit. Like I'm pretty sure she's bones sticking out of her. Like she's beat to shit. She many times in the book have said that she's very small. Mm-hmm. And not like height-wise, like skinny, because she was in a prison camp. So she's skinny, mm-hmm. and she's whipped. She's literally, yes. There's a scene where she like, Dorian or Kale, I don't remember who, sees like her like huge scars on her back, and they're like, "What's this from?" She goes, "I was whipped. I was a slave. Like I was literally
welcome to your kingdom.
Inch of my life." Yeah, no kidding. And he's like, "Oh shit, that sucks." Anyway,
it does suck, Dorian. Thank you. Thank you.
And then, so she beats him. It's kind of convenient because she just kind of like gets up and beats him really quick. Mm-hmm. There's like paragraphs and paragraphs of her like being, her shit is just wrecked. And there's paragraphs of it. Rocked. And then there's literally like one paragraph. She gets up and like wins. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Sure. That's great. I can't get him being beat up to shit, but that's fine. She wins. And Cain is still alive because the whole point wasn't to kill the other person. It was just to like beat them in the duel, mm-hmm. get them to step out of the ring, basically. But she is like out of it, obviously. So she's like fallen over. Dorian rushes to her side and is like holding her finally. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Are you okay?" She's fading. She's out. She's going out of it. And then Cain gets his sword and literally almost stabs her in the back to kill her. But our boy Cole jumps up and fucking stabs him through the chest. And we're like, and then literally he goes, "What the fuck did I just do?" He literally said, like, right, "What the fuck did I just do?" He doesn't
kill. So like that's like a big deal.
Yeah, and he's not supposed to be defending her because she's an assassin. Like everybody wanted Cain to win. He's not supposed to like her at all. He's just her guard, basically. But he saved her life, and he doesn't get in trouble, of course. But like he's pretty wrecked about it, even though like he did what he thought was the best thing. It's like that's the first time he's ever killed somebody. He's wrecked about it. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the book, he comes and he's like, he's really like a reserved character, whereas Dorian is super like, I guess arrogant, like loudmouth a little bit more. You know, he's like one of those guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he does it in like a hot way. Do you get me?
He's confident. That's what, when people are hot and annoying, it's confidence.
Oh, is that the word for it? Okay, yeah. Sure. Yes, resend energy, 100%, except in the way that it's kind of unpleasant at a point, because I was totally Team Dorian. I'm like, Dorian's great. No, you don't have to be done with Avatar references.
At least you're not making Hunger Games references.
Yeah.
That's right. That's how far
I'm like
it.
most of the book I was like, oh my god, I love Dorian. Like, he's hot. His eyes are described as like this deep, like sapphire blue, but he has dark hair. I'm like, that's hot. And then Kale's not really described that much, honestly. And then at the end of the book, it's like she does this every time. Like, this is, I don't know why I fell for it again, because she did it again. She did the switcheroo. She was like, Dorian's not going to do anything, and Cole is, like, he's going to save her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. At the end of the book, Cole is basically hugging her in her room, and he's like obviously fucked up from killing somebody. And then Dorian comes in. He's like, "What's going on here?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just hugging my guard." And like, there's like all these little moments in the book where she's like recognizing Cole's beauty, like physically and emotionally, just like by little stuff he does. And then she realizes, like, during the battle, when he's the only one trying to help her, in her mind, she's going, how did I not see this before? He's obviously the one trying to help me. He's trying to save me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then she doesn't remember later because her shit was wrecked. So she basically doesn't remember any of it.
So while she's in the curb stomp, she's literally sitting here like, oh, Kale is truly the one that actually cares about me, because I'm getting my shit wrecked and Dorian's just standing over.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a point where she's like, why is nobody fucking helping me? There's clearly something wrong with me. I don't fight this bad. I'm like walking around like a drunk. Like, I've been drugged. Yeah.
But Caitlin drugged her so that she could get closer to Dorian.
Correct.
You know what?
She was trying to kill her.
Yeah. You gotta appreciate the effort, right? Like, you gotta appreciate the get your man energy.
I almost forgot about her. Thank you for bringing her back up. In the end, she is revealed to be the poisoner. But the whole poisoning idea was that old creepy guy's idea. And he told her, the Duke, I think. I'm going to call him the Duke. He told her, like, you have to put the poison in the cups, okay? Because we both want Selena to die. So that's our plan. She's like, great, I'll put the poison in. She puts the poison in. Obviously, it works. But then at the end, Selena's like, or Dorian or somebody is like, she's clearly fucking poisoned. So who did that? And then the Duke goes, oh, Coltane did it. Caitlin did it. Like, she obviously did it. So we find out at the end of the book, the entire time, he was using this weird, like, dark magic too. And the king knows about it, but he was doing this to, like, not like, I mean, I guess he does. So he, like, drugs her opium. It's another thing we learn. Mm-hmm. So that's why the opium comes back. But she was getting all these headaches because he was doing all this dark, weird magic on her. Caitlin? And she didn't know. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Duke was doing all this stuff on Caitlin, who is Coltane, in case anyone's confused. But we don't call her that. And so at the end, she is in, like, a prison, like a jail within the palace, not the war prison or whatever, just like a small cell. But the king and the creepy guy, the old guy, are like, at the end, they're like, we still will have use for her, so we'll get her out when we're ready to use her again, because she's obviously very willing to do whatever we say so that she can be part of the kingdom. So basically the book ends. Oh my god, I can't believe I've been talking about this for an hour. Basically the book ends.
I've been explaining it for an hour. That's insane.
The book ends with her becoming the king's assassin. She gets her little what's it called? Paper. What's the word for, like, a document? Yes. Oh my god. Jesus. She gets her contract.
I thought you were saying like a tea bag at first. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
She gets her contract. She signs it. She gets some money for doing the king's killings, etc., etc. So she's there for 4 years. That's how this book ends up. And obviously the next books are like her killing and doing etc., etc. But it ends with, like, her telling Dorian, like, I can't really do this right now because I'm going to be your dad's assassin, and I don't think we should be fucking around on the side, because we shouldn't be doing that. But it did sort of leave off ambiguous with Cole, because he was the one in the last scene with her. So I feel like that's kind of important. Like, they ended the book together, like, in the last scene, like, him telling her, oh, how do you feel now? Are you like so happy, like because you'll be free soon? And she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy I'll be free soon. That's all she's thinking about. Because even when she was breaking up with Dorian, she's like, in the back of her head, she's like, I don't really care about this because I'm going to be free. Like after 4 years, I'm going to be free. Like I don't have to go to a prison camp. I don't have to run. I can just be good. Didn't like the way Selena's character was portrayed. I get she's a badass, but it was a little too much. Oh yeah. The annoying thing with her being like this like badass assassin is because like she doesn't really do anything that badass in the book.
Right.
She's just, yes, she is cocky. She's just like portrayed as this like notorious assassin, but we don't really see any of it.
Right. So you don't get it.
Like she doesn't, I don't think she actually even kills anybody in the whole book. Like, so we don't even see it. Right. Like we see her doing these challenges, whatever. We know that's going to happen. But like, that's kind of it with her, you know? And then she does get beat up a lot. Like many times she's just wrecked. Oh, last thing I have to mention. In ACOTAR, we know that Feyre, I don't know if you know this, but Feyre is an IBS queen. She's always throwing up. She's always got watery bowels. That's one of Sarah J. Maas's staples. She always says watery bowels.
You said IBS. I literally was, I that's what I was thinking of, but I was like, it has to stand for something else because there's no way that she's talking about irritable bowel syndrome. Got it.
100% talking about that.
Well, you know,
Feyre throws up a lot. Oh yeah, hot girls, tummy problems, 100%. I have tummy problems too. I mean, it's the hot girl curse.
We go through.
Yeah. In this book, there are like more scenes of Selena throwing up than there are of her making out with anybody. And I do not understand the obsession that Sarah J. Maas has with making her main female character just constantly physically nauseous and ill. Like, why? I don't get
it. Okay, here's what I'll say. I feel like Sarah J. Maas, as much as everybody loves her, she's very, like, limited. Like, a lot of the stuff that she writes is, like, the same stuff she's already written.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, like the Throne of Glass or the ACOTAR. I'm not sure. But they're definitely very similar.
Yeah, no, they sound similar. I mean, they sound really similar, right? Like, even from, like, which, like, the kind of characters. Like, the only difference that I hear is, like, sounds like Cole and Rhysand were a little bit different. But even then, they existed in the same context. So it's very comparable.
For sure.
Listen, you explained this for 55 minutes. This is why I can't get into fantasy. Because I'm done with my plot points within the first 10 minutes of the stream, and we can sit here and we can talk shit. That
I know
sounds so overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah. The next book is like Poison Princess or something, and I'm fairly positive that book's like 800 pages. So... What? I'm fairly positive. Let me look. People kept asking me like to put that on. So
oh my god, Poison. I appreciate because it's like Ice Planet Barbarians. That's our next like romance read. I appreciate.
Oh, that one's easy.
Well, and it sounds like it has what I need in it, so I should get through it really quickly.
Okay, it's actually not. It's not that long. It just looks that long. It's 400 pages. That's fine.
That's not okay.
You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of the other one that was up, which is Priory of the Orange Tree. That one is like this big. But people didn't vote for that one.
No.
Wait. Oh, we're almost done.
Wait, what? No, it's not that long. It's only 400 pages. Did you ever read I gotta look at my books here. What's it called? From Blood and Ash. Did you ever read that one? I own it. I haven't read it. There's this guy that I follow on Book Talk, and he was tearing it to shreds. And so if you guys ever end up reading that one for your fantasy, I will probably read it because I think that guy's hilarious.
Oh, good. Yeah. Maybe next time. To be clear, our next regular read is Ice Planet Barbarians. And our next fantasy read is Poison Princess, which has an orange cover. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know what this book is. Yeah. It looks like this. Can you see it? There it is.
I've never even seen that. But I'm on a very specific kind of book talk, so.
Yeah, Poison Princess by Kelsey Kroll, I believe. Kelsey Cole. Krelsey Cole.
Krelsey. Did you say Krelsey?
It says Krelsey.
It's a strong name. I like it.
Kelsey Cole.
Sounds like she
so that's our next fantasy.
SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know why. It just sounds like a very SpongeBob name.
Yeah. Anyway, so I will be continuing to read this series for some godforsaken reason. I already bought the next 2 books. So if anyone wants to hear me talk about that, let me know. Also, RJ, I would love to just keep telling you about it over text message if you'll allow me to.
I'm so for it. Go ahead.
You barely answer my texts anyway. Like half the time I'm like, hey, and then finally I see like red 2:50 a.m. and then you're like, hey, what's up?
Because here's the thing, I read them at such bad times. Like I'll open my text messages when I'm like getting into the car or like when I'm laying down for bed, and then I'm like, this is a horrible time to do this. Otherwise, I'm just like so fucking busy. God damn.
I get it. Okay, thank you. See, Scarlet Vogue loved my very animated description of this book. At times confusing, for sure.
I loved it too, and I feel like if I'd listened to the audiobook, I would have understood less. So I will read this.
Honestly, I don't know how someone would listen to an audiobook of a fantasy book, because unless there's separate like narrators for different characters, I wouldn't be able to understand what was happening, because there's so many plot points in a fantasy book that I feel like you have to have different like narrators.
Listen, and some audiobooks do that. I'm a big fan of an audiobook with separate narrators. I was hoping that Delilah Green would be like that, but I didn't realize that Delilah Green was in third person, which I really am a fan of a book in third person. I don't know why.
Yeah, this one's in third person too, and I was actually kind of shocked that I liked both of these books. They were in third person.
I don't like third person.
So we have 1 minute left.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to do your little sign off.
Really? You're gonna let me do it? Okay, so you can announce all the books. So you have 1 minute. Okay. Let me like warm up. I'm so excited. All right.
Obviously follow us on TikTok.
Yep, follow us on all socials, TikTok. I think I'm really only on TikTok. I have an Instagram that I don't.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay, everyone. Have a good night. Stay smutty, good girls. I love it. You don't like I can stay smutty.
Stay smutty, good girls.
All right.
ASMR. Stay smutty.
All right. Everyone have a good night. Peace.
Bye.